Testing 1 2. So all right, let's get it. Let's see. All right, let's pop over here to the scans. So what I'm seeing this morning on the scans, LRHC, Icon, KUST, CETX. LRHC is leading with 16 million shares traded, so it's the only one that has made its way over 10 million shares traded this morning. On the non-micros, I see OPAD leading with 5 million shares. It's at $1.92. Then behind it, everything else is not really getting any pops here yet. All right, so let's start looking through these and see. Let me see why LRHS is up, or LRHC is up so much, or is gaining so much volume. La Rosa Holdings. All right, over here on their profile, La Rosa Holdings, through its subsidiaries, operates primarily in the residential real estate market in the United States. The company operates through 6 segments: real estate brokerage services, franchising services, coaching services, property management, real estate. Oh, this was real estate brokerage services, residential, and then commercial, and title settlements, and insurance. It also is involved in the residential, commercial, real estate broker. Saying that delivery of coaching, blah blah blah. Was founded in 2004 and is based in Celebration, Florida. It has 39 employees and it's real estate. So let's get this notated. Celebration, Florida. States. Only time I really look at real estate stocks is if I'm looking for dividends. Um, I really don't trade real estate stocks because a lot of times they're too stable. They'll open up and go flat. Even if there is good news, they just go flat. Let's go look at statistics. Float on this one is 1.23 million. Shares outstanding 1.63 million. Not a lot of institutions holding it though. It doesn't really matter because it's still real estate. I'm gonna wait for something to come in, blow it out of the water. And let me go and look at their actual catalyst. What are they talking about? It says La Rosa Holdings Corp announces closing of initial funding under 250 million note facility as part of a 1.25 billion AI infrastructure program. Okay. All right. So they're up 66% with 17 million shares traded. Here to Icon. Icon, no news on the day. Kust, KUST. Not seeing any news at all for this one. Not even past news. It must be brand new. I don't know. Not seeing anything for that one. CETX. No news on today. So the only micro cap that had news was LRHC. All right, let's go to the non-micros. Start with OPAD. We'll move on down the list. OPAD has the most volume right now. Let's see what that's talking about. OPAD does not have fresh news on the day. SXTC, no fresh news. Okay. SMR, no fresh news. IBIO does have some news out here. So it says press release IBIO announces 26 million private placement. That's a private placement. Put all of these beside each other that have catalysts. So IBIO. See what Open's talking about. Open Door and Rocket. Rocket something SOAR. Why Trump's mortgage bond plan is boosting the stocks. Okay, not sure if that's really pertaining to Open Door. It's probably why its volume is so low. Another one just popped up here. It's called Feed. Let's see, AG Feed. Does it have catalyst? No catalyst on today. It had catalyst yesterday. So I need fresh catalyst. That's in the micro floats or Feed. FEED. Okay, back over to the non-micros. Anything else? Catalyst out here. ELUG. Nope. OKLO. Big O move from $98 up here to $121. It has catalyst on today. AQST fell from the sky. Announces regulatory deployment. Okay, so apparently something pretty bad happened on AQST because it is now down 42% on the morning. So that is definitely out of play. But OKLO has catalyst as well. It says OKLO says see, first drop news at 5 o'clock this morning. Meta unveils sweeping nuclear power plan to fuel its AI ambitions. Meta Platforms on Friday unveiled a series of agreements that would make an anchor customer for new and existing nuclear power in the U.S., where it needs city-size amounts of electricity for its artificial intelligence data centers. The Facebook parent said it would back new reactor projects with the developers TerraPower and OKLO. So Meta, Facebook, is working with OKLO. Now that is the strongest catalyst that I have seen on the day. It does not have the most volume, but that is definitely a standout catalyst for OKLO to get an agreement with Meta. So we'll see how that goes. It has already made quite a bit of a move from 98 up here to 121. Hit a high up there at 121. Let me go look at the daily chart on OKLO. So yeah, it was already kind of trending up from 70, and now it's jumped from 97 all the way up here to 121 is at the high. It's come back down. Let's see it right around this little level here. So we'll just put this out here as a possible level, possible daily level. Okay, so that's kind of where it's floating around right now, that 114. Other than that, I don't know where it could go, but that news is pretty good. We'll see if anything comes of it. So right now on the on watch, the things with catalyst is LRAC, IBIO, and OKLO. I think while we got some time and we know that this one has the best news, I'm gonna go ahead and research OKLO. Got over here. I know it's a higher float out. Sure. All right, OKLO Inc. develops advanced fission power plants to provide clean, reliable, and affordable energy at scale to customers in the United States. It also commercializes nuclear fuel recycling technology that converts nuclear waste into usable fuel for its reactors. Oklo Inc. has a joint agreement with Nucleo to develop advanced fuel fabrication and manufacturing infrastructure in the United States. Oklo Inc. is based in Santa Clara, California. So this is a utilities company. Ready? Utility independent power producers. 120 employees, not bad. Santa Clara. All right, let's go look at that float. Good morning, Hebrew. So the best news that I've seen on the morning was Oklo. They have a deal with Meta to they're going towards nuclear power and trying to build infrastructure to support AI data centers. So it's AI infrastructure along with utilities and nuclear power on this one. But let me look at the float. So the shares outstanding is 156.25 million. Float is 127.116. Institutions have the larger holding, of course. And let's go ahead and take note of all of this. And so what I'm thinking is this is going to start something with the rest of the nuclear type, you know, pickers. And I'm looking for something to be maybe on sentiment. And it really needs to be closer or either in collaboration with this move, but we'll see. We'll see how it reacts if other nuclear stocks start to kind of pop up this morning. But for now, the focus is Oklo. It's the thing that actually has the news, but it's already moved so much. It's already moved so much. Let me go and look in the news right here. Just over 1 million shares traded. Okay, so even on their news headlines on here, it says Oklo 54 minutes ago is gaining traction in the nuclear energy sector, particularly through a significant partnership with Meta Platforms. Now, is Meta Platforms the same as Facebook? I think it is. Platform Inc. You were looking in the right. Yeah. That's it. And then in their news, Meta Platforms is making significant strides in nuclear energy agreements, aiming to become a leading corporate buyer of nuclear power in the US analyst. What? Okay, Meta Platforms making significant strides in nuclear energy agreements, aiming to become a leading corporate buyer of nuclear power in the US analysts maintain. I guess that should be and the US analysts maintain a positive outlook. It says in the U.S., but it is whatever. With expectations for growth driven by AI investments and strategic acquisition. Okay, that verifies that connection. Good morning, AJ. So Oklo, yeah. So that let's go ahead. Meta signs multi-gigawatt nuclear deal for AI data centers. Let's look at both of these. Both of these were this morning, so this is probably where people are going to be trying to attack. Meta Platforms Inc. agreed to a series of electricity deals for its data centers that will make it the biggest buyer of nuclear power among its hyperscaler peers. The agreements could end up totaling more than 6 gigawatts, enough to power a city of about 5 million homes. The deals show how big tech's scramble to lock in electric supplies has yet to slow amid a fierce industry battle for dominance in artificial intelligence. By the way, I don't know if you all have already added some utility companies to y'all's long-term portfolios, but that would probably be a good idea. Getting into something that provides energy and provides those utilities for that infrastructure, because we're seeing a lot of data centers come up and all this, and they're going to take a lot of energy. And to be already invested, these energy companies, they sometimes pay those dividends. So you can find you a good dividend paying energy stock. That would be a good way to kind of reduce the exposure from day trading energy stocks, and then get a little bit of exposure to the actual companies, or to a ETF that holds specific companies, depending on how your risk is. Meta said Friday it will purchase electricity from 3 existing Vistra Corp plants and support several small reactors that Sam Altman backed Oklo Inc. and Bill Gates backed TerraPower LLC are planning to build over the next decade. Those deals follow a separate June agreement to get energy from a Constellation Energy Corp nuclear site. Vistra shares rose 10% before trading open in New York on Friday, and Oklo's shares were up 20%. All right, and they're still around 18% right now. While surging U.S. power demand, blah blah blah. Oh, let me read some of these comments. Let me see. You said, yeah, Biz phone. Let me see. What is the screen I use to show how much volume is happening now? You mean the scanners? Let's see. So these are TOS scanners that I have as windows here. And on Oklo, you can see it's coming up the chart, but it's a higher float. So I'm thinking that it's just gonna slowly walk its way down. So we need to, if we're gonna trade micros or small caps, we need to find something that can outdo Oklo when it starts to really ramp up. If we find something like that. But let me read the rest of these chats. So the screen that I'm using, the TOS scanners to show the volume now. Let's see. Oklo hit a high of 193 a few months ago. Could they go over 200? Possibly, with this whole meta connection. Let's see. You missed that GEV run. I saw it coming. Yeah, I gave GEV at. Look at GEV. GEV. Let's see, what stock was this? Hey, GEV's been stacking up. GV has a beautiful chart here on the daily chart. Just a nice trend upward, and it's sitting around 628 bucks. So literally, see, this is 2025. 2025, it was 200 bucks, and now it's up to 700 bucks. That's insane movement. Do they pay a dividend? Go check. GEV. Let me go check. They do pay a dividend. Looks like they started paying dividend in 2024. Pay a quarterly dividend through 2025 of 25 cents per share. And then 2026, February 2nd, they're supposed to be paying another one of 50 cents. So it looks like it rose. They started at 25, is going up to 50 cents per share there. So yeah, very interesting. What is this company? G Verna. Let's see. So it says G Verna is a energy company. Oh yeah, energy engages in the provision of various products and services that generate, transfer, orchestrate, convert, and store electricity in the United States, Europe, Asia, the Americas, and Middle East and Africa. Company operates through three segments: power, wind, and electrification. Power segment designs, manufactures, and services gas, nuclear, hydro, and steam technologies. The wind segment offers wind generation technologies, including onshore and offshore wind turbines and blades. The electrification segment provides grid solutions, power conversion, solar, and storage solutions, and electrification software for the transmission, distribution, conversion, storage, and orchestration of electricity from point of generation to point of consumption. The company was incorporated in 2023 and is headquartered in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I bet that, ooh, look at those employees. 76,800 employees. Oh my goodness. Well, they are changing lives out here. Man, that's a lot. And institutions, you already know institutions are going to be the ones in this one. 78% of the holdings to institutions, and look, 0.07 held by the insiders. Yeah, institutions are all over that. They're like, yes, sir. Let me read some of these chats I missed here. We'll hit. Okay, you have GV at 85. Oh my goodness, you got it at 85? When was it at 85? Oh. I don't see 85, but maybe you got it. Were you did you angel invest into it or something? Cause it started at or maybe it dropped. Maybe it dropped on this day. Let me check out this little time period back here. Right in here. Low of 115. I don't know how you got 85, but Lord. Let's see. What else? Yeah, let's good play. Um, the dividend is truly for the rich. 50 cents for $600 plus. Yeah, true. If you own GE, they when they started, they gifted you shares. Oh, okay. Um, that's what I get for not buying in GEV before the split. Knew they were about to do big things. Good morning, Senate. And you might buy another if it gets to 600. Nice. Zoom back a little bit here. So 600 may come into play. It definitely has this previous traded level down here at 5. But yeah, they are definitely doing big things over there at GEV. All right, let's see where we are sitting on our scans. So the micros still looking Still looking like micros. And I'm thinking this energy and oil and nuclear is going to be the move on today. On Oklo, bug is up. Right. Have to see what's going on. IO, SMR, CXT. Okay, so we're still just waiting for something to pop up. We're about to hit the top of the hour here in 2 minutes. 7 o'clock for me, Central Time. All right, let's go look at the front page news out here. I'm pretty sure Oklo will be on there. This jobs report will put a bow on 2025. Here's what to expect. The report will help make sense of the cooling labor market and set expectations for the Fed's rate path. Trump's tariffs set for Supreme Court reckoning. Trump cancels second wave of attacks on Venezuela. Oil holds biggest gain since October as Iran unrest heats up. How Trump's tariffs have grown increasingly complex. Productivity can be another name for a rough job market. A new powerful retirement tool for disabled Americans. Rio Tinto, Glencore hold talks to create world's biggest miner. And then for more recent news, we have 10 minutes ago, stablecoin firm Rain valued at 1.95 billion in latest fundraise. China's Giga device semiconductor locks top end pricing in 600 million Hong Kong listing. Copper pushes higher with metal set for fourth weekly advance. Lebanon signs gas exploration deal with international consortium amid economic crisis. Tiny Greenland lender jumps 40% as Trump fuels investor bonanza. Scott Ding. Oh my goodness, I can't even say that name. I just call him Dinger. To offer Eli Lilly's AI drug discovery platform on its software. And how long could a million last if you retire at 39? All right, so let's see. Will a corporate home buying ban help address affordability crisis? 3 things that could go wrong for markets this year. Bitcoin outlook, 2 tailwinds signaling a bullish year. Fed more inclined to cut in second half of 2026. Speaking of the Fed, let's go look at the FOMC. Today is the 9th. So financial accounts of the United States, commercial paper, select the interest rates and asset liabilities. Next speaker that we have is next week on Wednesday. Governor Stephen Moran, regulations and supply side and monetary policy. And then we have a stablecoin speaker on 15th, and then a couple of speakers next week. We'll keep that in mind. All right, let's see what they're talking about on this corporate home buying here.
For investors this week as President Trump roils sectors from housing to defense to energy with policy ideas and military action. But my next guest says investors don't need to react to the geopolitical risk in a material way. Join me now. We got Rebecca Patterson, former Bridgewater Associates Chief Investment Strategist. Rebecca, it is great to see you. So President Trump, a lot of headlines there, Rebecca, a lot of social media posts. Affordability, of course, is front and center for the administration now. Maybe start, Rebecca, and there's a range of ways we could go here, but housing, let's start there, because Trump says, you know what we should do? We should ban big institutional investors from buying single-family homes. What do you think, Rebecca? Smart policy?
That's a meh. That's my technical term. There are some analysis out there that suggests that the institutional firms buying up these homes leads to higher rents. At the same time, it can bring down home prices. So the jury's out on whether this is the optimal policy to address the housing affordability crisis. I think there are a lot of other things that can happen. Congress is already looking at a couple different bills. They're going through the process. that would do things like speed up permitting for home development or push local and state government officials to have more supply of starter homes. So there's different things that will probably get done that have bipartisan support. So this step by the president makes for a good narrative as he's starting to look at midterms. But I think there are other means to, really handle this that don't require an executive order from the president. In addition to that, though, you need lower mortgage rates. And right now, we're seeing 10-year yields kind of ticking up a little bit. So focusing on fiscal sustainability, frankly, would probably do a lot more to help the housing market than this particular policy idea from the president.
Okay. All right, so trying to ban those big institutions from making those single home purchases, buying up all the properties and renting them out, basically. So basically, they'll own everything and you rent for what you want to get, right? So nobody actually owns anything but the government or these big institutions. And that means that they control the prices if they own it all. And they don't have any, they kind of monopolize the housing in their little bag. But I don't know how effective that is going to be. Let me read some of these chats. So I saw a mention of FRMI. What is FRMI? That FRMI. Let's look at the daily chart. So on the daily chart, it looks like the high was 36.99. It had a little bit of gap down here in 2025 and kind of came down into a flat trading area around 854. Let's go look and see what it is into. So we will go to FRMI. Profile Fermi Inc. Right, what do they do? No description for, are they, what? What are they? Not sure why they don't have any information here. Let me check FinViz maybe. Fermi, FRMI. Surprised they don't have anything on Yahoo Finances. Fermi Inc. engages in the development of energy infrastructure. It intends to develop an energy and data center development campus to support the needs of to-be-built AI infrastructure. The company was founded by Rick Perry, Toby New, oh my goodness, well that name, and Griffin Perry on January 10th, 2025. So it's been around for a year and it's headquartered in Amarillo, Texas. Okay, so not a whole lot of news on it. I'm surprised it's been out for a year and it hasn't been updated on Yahoo Finance. That's crazy. So shares outstanding 57.98 million. So that would be billions, I guess. So that's a very large float. Don't know how many employees they have. Year over year growth. Well, they only been doing this for a year, so not gonna be that much data there. Okay, so that is another. Oh, this is a real estate REIT specialty. So real estate on that one as well. And I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be paying a dividend their first year, right? Let's see. And Fermi. FRMI. No, they're not over here yet. Fermi payout. No payouts as of yet, but it's a real estate company, so they'll probably start paying out once they get a little bit more history behind them. Okay. So that was Fermi. Let's see. Oklo barely holding on the chart, holding on the scans here, getting overshadowed by other things. Let's see, do we have any really bullish movers out here? No really bullish movers yet. OPED, SXTC, IBIO. And this would be, how many days have I not traded? This would be my, so I didn't trade, this is the 9th, so I haven't traded in 2 days. These past 2 days have been kind of, how would you say, hogwash in the small caps. So I did not trade the last 2 days, and here we are on the 9th. I'm really working on avoiding stupid trades. I know they're inevitable at some point, but I really want to get some good catalysts to be able to trade. And I don't know, today if we can find something, maybe a small cap moving on energy, but sometimes the small cap energy companies that are moving on sentiment are very, very, they get choppy, or they make these big, like, up and down movements that are really, really volatile and sporadic. So they're hard to know, hey, when this thing is going to do, you know, whatever it's going to do. Okay. We're definitely looking around the markets right now. Let me read some of these chats here. See, we talked about Fermi. Fermi looks like an energy company bought, hoping it was another GEV. Way underwater on it. Oh wow. Hoping it comes back. To be clear, I have no idea what I'm talking. AJ says, to be clear, I have no idea what I'm talking about. And historically, I could turn 1,000 into 750 pretty quick. BizPhone says, oh, okay. Do you use any technical analysis when investing? Check the monthly chart to get a broader view. Yeah, I looked at that monthly. Let's see, Donnell, good morning. And then his phone said, good news about Fermi is that they are requesting an offering of 32 million. So market makers will push it at some point. And then BizPhone says lots of scheduled 13G. So those are investors coming in. I did not look at the BAM SEC. Let me see 13Gs for Fermi. Oops. All right. So 13Gs. Those are investors coming in. Maybe they haven't exactly closed, because a lot of times they'll just appear over here in ownership, or there'll be 13Gs out here. But anyway, let me continue reading this. So lots of scheduled 13Gs being filed, meaning lots of large investors are buying and selling. AJ says that's weird. It shows me that they are a hypergrid company trying to integrate nuclear, natural gas, solar, wind, and battery power. Interesting. What AJ, what source are you looking at for your Fermi? I looked at Finviz. Finviz had it up there right under their name here. REIT specialty. You may be using a different. I didn't see anything on the on Yahoo Finance for it. It says, even over here on dividend, it says dividend stocks, real estate REIT on dividend stocks. Not sure about that. Summary. Robinhood, got you. Mm. All right. So oh, it looks like we got something else popping up over here on the micros. APVO. Did it have news on the day or something? Let's see. AVPO Therapeutics secures a 60 million equity line of credit, so a loan, to support multi-specific portfolio advancement, increase strategic optionality. It has 2 million shares traded, but it is a long way away from our LRHC right now. Only 2 million shares traded, went to a high of 14.17, and it's just got a loan. So I'm not sure if that's the greatest news. Let's look at the daily chart, and we can see the daily chart. It has been beaten down quite a bit on APVO. Oh, it has some history of popping. Okay. So, or maybe this is splits. Let me see when this split, its last splits were. So APVO splits. In VO as first split. Okay, get it a second to answer. Okay, so the it reverse split on December 30th, 2025, a 1-for-18 reverse split. Okay, so that means that they went through some dilution, right? If you had one share, they gave you 18. So a little bit of dilution there on December 30th. And then the last time they did a 1-for-20 on May 27, 2025. So they reverse split it twice on in 2025, and then before that they did a reverse split on in 2024. Two of them in 2024, so two in 2025, and then the one they did one in 2020, a 1-for-14. So this company has been diluting their shares for a while. They have 3 million shares right now, up 20%, and they just got a loan. So not only are they diluting their shares, but they're getting a little bit more debts with this loan. So I'm not sure if that will be one that I want to stick my hand into willingly on APVO. Let's see, LRHC. This one has 34 million. It's just leading the whole, like on my scans, 34 million compared to all these things that haven't even reached the only thing that's reached 10 million so far is OPAD, and it is so far away as far as looking bullish from LRHC. And this is another, I think this was a real estate. Is it? Or was this utilities? Let me see. This was a real estate company. So real estate right here too. LRHC. Not sure about any of that. Need to see it pump a whole lot more volume and get some better catalysts out here. Looks like Oklo has sunk down the list and is not on my scans anymore. Just did not get enough volume to compete with everything else as a higher float. Okay. So let me look at the daily chart. I don't even know if the daily chart is worth looking at. Let's go over here to the charts for APVO. It has this big gap right here from 1260 up here to 1655s right here. So we have bottom gap here. We have a gap here at 1250. You go ahead and move that. So we got this. Let's label these. This is the bottom of the gap. Lower daily gap level. Then we got our higher daily gap level up there. That and just duplicate. Okay, there. That's the higher daily gap level. We will edit Right. And beyond that, there's really nothing super clear. Just this kind of range. So I'm not sure beyond that. Let's jump over to the 1 minute and see where that lines up here. So on this is the lower daily gap here at 1249 on that daily. It came up here and tested it and failed. Came down here to 1060 right around ATR highs. Let's zoom back a little bit. Not much to see. And so this is that zone of that gap. Whoops. This is the zone of that gap that is trading below. But it's got 3 million shares, so it's not even competing right now. It's got a lot of work to do. AVS, we saw that one earlier, but no fresh news. Fresh news there. Just cleaning up what we got, and we'll reassess what pops up next. TX, no news. Push. All right, let me read. Oh, PVO. APVO is kind of a weird one. Sure. Has a bottom down here 1060. So there's just a little idea of an uptrend, but I'm not sure under this 1249. Whoops. And let's go ahead and draw in the idea. See how this gets tested. And see if it wants to hold above that level or if it wants to continue to drop. But it said $11.11 right now. And the drop through point is right at around 1075s in here. This little high up here is at 1166, but it's too steep right now for me to be like, oh yeah, this is a downtrend. I'm not sure. So I want to see it kind of trade a little bit more and show some type of reaction to the this idea of an uptrend. All right. Oh, let me read the chats that I missed there. Okay. 13. Gotcha. All right. Let me read into this. Let me actually look into the float and all of that on this one. Since it kind of seems like it has the potential to do something crazy, I'm gonna look into it a little bit more. Make sure we're not missing anything here on APVO Therapeutics. All right, so we'll start with the profile. Or did I already read this profile? I'm not. Eptivo Therapeutics, Inc., a clinical stage research and development biotechnology company, focuses on the development of immunotherapeutic candidates for the treatment of various forms of cancer. So cancer is the first key word. Let me go ahead and notate that. All right, cancer in the United States. The company develops its products using Adaptier and Adaptier Flex platforms to generate monospecific, bispecific, and multispecific antibody candidates capable of enhancing human immune system against cancer cells. Okay, so cancer candidate, blah, 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 phase 1B. Okay. Small cancer, and that lung cancer, head and neck cancer, colorectal cancer, breast cancer. So all types, just different types of cancer. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Solid tumors, preclinical. Okay, so this one was incorporated in 2016 and headquartered in Seattle, Washington. Has 37 employees there. Take that. Okay. And then Washington States. All right, let's go and look at its statistics and float. All right, so the float is under 1 million on this one. Insiders, institutions, not too much of anything. So very, very low float. I would say a micro float on this one. Let's go ahead and throw that up there. It has 3 minutes, so it is working its way up the chart in volume. Let's look at the news. Apto Therapeutics, this was 18 minutes ago, secures a 60 million equity line of credit. I said credit. To support multi-specific portfolio advancement, increase strategic whatever. Okay, so and then the last news was 13 days ago. Let's go ahead and click into this. If we zoom over here real quick, so this was the idea of an uptrend here that I've had put in here. I wanted to see, hey, is this thing going to respect this level? And is this going to be some type of continued downtrend right here, or is it going to be able to break back over? What is it going to look like to test back up? That's a very thin level there. So maybe it'll be able to hold and continue to trade out of this. The point of control right now is at 1126. Let's continue to look through. So Aptevo Therapeutics secured 60 million equity line of credit. Together with cash on hand, the fully leveraged facility extends Aptevo's funding runway into 2029, enabling achievement of key clinical and preclinical milestones. Aptevo Therapeutics. Okay, so do they have any drugs that are towards the end phase though? Question. Facility provides Aptevo with access to capital. This agreement offers added flexibility. ELOC complements Aptevo's existing capital resources. Under the terms and agreement, Aptevo has the right, but not the obligation to sell shares to the counterparty from time to time. Aptevo's portfolio, okay, about that money though, or any phase 3, nothing in the phase 3, so no ending, no projects coming towards the end of their life cycle, going towards the FDA yet, just a little loan over here. All right, so it stayed above this level, but I'm not sure. It has a top, this lower gap level up here to the 1248s. Right now it's down here around the 1115s. So this would be another, let me draw this in. I pretty much mark up every one of these pass-throughs of the previous level as an uptrend inside of an uptrend. And I'm looking for, let's see, 8. I'm looking for it to continue to hold these uptrend ideas until it gets back up there. It has almost 4 million shares traded, so it's slowly making its way up the micro floats list, but it's still a long way away from LRHC, which has 35 million shares traded and is starting to trade like a barcode, even during pre-market, which isn't great. But yeah, Aptevo with news on today of the loan. All right, let's continue looking around. Yes, Saidu, UAVS. So nothing really looking as aggressive or having the range that that other one is having, APVO. We'll see. Got a drop point down here of 1086, and that's also where that point that ATR high is at 1086. but I don't like that it's struggling to hold 20%. You know, I really like, if it's going to be something strong, it needs to go ahead and get back into this gap up here above 1250s and really start showing strength and riding up the trend. But for now, just not seeing that. All right, coming down here, down here to my secondary trend level. Popping off of that again where that ATR high is. We'll see how this closes if it wants to continue to hold the 11s. Kind of slowing down in volume too. It was getting hundreds of thousands at a time, and now it's kind of slowed down to just hundreds of shares traded at a time. So that is disheartening. About to get passed up by feed, and feed is going down, getting more volume than it. All right, so this is another time that it's kind of looking like it's going to respect the idea, but I'm not sure. It could treat this upside as resistance back up here to the 1115s. Definitely tight here. Want to control right here at the 1125s. And closing pretty much on the bottom, that bottom idea. So we'll see if it can get some green and get back up here and test the 1107, or does it want to fall to the earth, through the earth? All right, so it tapped at 1107 right there. See if it starts to hold this level though. Kind of treating it as resistance. All right, well, if y'all are seeing anything else pop that I may be missing, definitely let me know and I will definitely check it out. Right now, this one just continues to try to hold in this wedge. And there's really no clear downtrend because it's going sideways. So I like to get it where I see a clear downtrend and a clear uptrend so I can see the ebb and the flow of the pattern. But if it comes down like this and just goes flat, there's no real clear downtrend because the only one that we have is right here. This little peak out here. But like, it's trading outside of that flat. So that doesn't make sense. That's not a trend. All right, coming back to that ATR high there after treating that as some type of resistance. Woo! I got hurt right there, boy. Still no clear trend, and now it broke down these uptrends, and so as it trades further and further away from this, that invalidates these uptrends because we was not able to find an uptrend and a downtrend. If I don't have a downtrend and an uptrend, I'm probably not gonna take the trade. I need both. I needs both because I am a picky eater. No, I'm playing. I'm not a picky eater, but I'm a picky trader for sure. All right, let's go ahead and flip through some of these. Add. Continue to go down. Yeah, this morning is kind of maybe a 3-day no trade day if it keeps looking like this for sure. The problem with things popping up after the open is that they don't have any structure. It's almost like coming into pre-market and there is no structure. It's kind of like this move right here where it goes up and it's like, all right, what's the catalyst? What's all of this? And then by the time during intraday that it's made a structure, it's the end of the day. So just kind of sit on my hands and be patient. And now we have another bottom down here of the 983s on this one, and now it's only up 8%. So that's going to kill the taste buds a little bit. Plus, it fell back below the ATR highs here, so it's just got multiple levels of resistance up here at this point. Need something that's gonna go crazy, man. Just go crazy. But it's not, we don't want to dig for things. We don't want to start changing our scans and stuff. You have your scan set. I think the best days to do scanner updates is on days that the market is not moving. So just take your notes, do your journaling, say, hey, I like this. This was this flow. This was this relative volume. This was this whatever. Then make the change on the weekend and then come into the new week with that new setup, but save your old setup. So if it was something that was working at first and then you make a scanner change and then you start losing, you might want to go back. So I would keep all of that catalog maybe on a Word document or a Excel document or something so you can remember where you can go back to if you mess yourself up. But for me, my microcap scanner is scanning for stocks that are getting at least 1 million shares that are over 75 cents. My non-micro is over 75 cents with at least 1 million shares, but they're higher floats above 20, I think it's 20 million shares on the non-micros, and it's under 20 million for the micro caps. And once you get your scanner set up, just do your little reading, do your little research that everybody hates. Everybody hates professional traders because they do research and they read. They're like, man, you don't have to do all that. But then those traders are green all year. You're like, what? What? I don't know what happened. I didn't look into the earnings. I didn't look into these things. Well, that's why. Now there are purely momentum traders out there, but what I've seen just off of like what I watch online and things like that is the people that are momentum traders when they get trading fatigue and they start making bad decisions, they hold longer. So usually hyper scalpers are hyper scalpers. They in and out. They're not saying, "Oh, let me just hold this a little bit longer." They're getting out, they're getting back in. Especially if they're above PDT and the margin rules, you get out, right? But we see so many times people are trading and they're like, well, I just hold a little bit longer. And these people, most hyper scalpers are not doing the research that I'm doing. They don't know why this thing is moving or why it could fail or whatnot. So with that lack of knowledge, why in the world would you hold it? If it's going against you, sell. Sell, sell, sell. You don't have the information to give you confidence to hold. Gonna get fried. If you're gonna go, and the thing is, if you have a strategy, you have to follow the rules of the strategy. If you're following the rules of breakout or bailout, if it starts to break down, you better bail. Especially if you don't know anything about that ticker. Dancing with the devil. All right, so APVO made a bottom down here of 978. And got a little, I mean, it's still kind of steep from the top here. I usually, so the way that I draw these trend lines, I go to I want to see where the war zone went, not where the body candle is, but where the wick is. And that's how I usually don't go off the bodies. I go off the wicks, right? Because there is hope up there. There was somebody that was like, man, I'm going to be great up here at 14.10. And now they're sitting down here, $4 down per share, crying. And so I want to identify this trend where the pain ends and maybe some type of relief breath happens. But also we know what this is. This is a cancer type stock. They do not have any medications that are near end phase. They just got a loan basically. So is that catalyst worth buying high? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it worth buying all the way up here when you could just wait for it to fade out and maybe get a little small move down here around, $9-10? But that's the point that it could get back up to being a micro float like it is. I mean, it could do a wild pop up here to 1250 and then just wipe out. But I'm not sure. It's only up 10%. So for it to be struggling even to hold 10% is not a good look. Most of the things that we're trading that are strong can get over 20% easily and hold 20% for the rest of the day. What this thing's over here doing. LRHC with 37 million shares. I don't even know why it's this many shares traded on this. Literally just a little bit of funding. But it does have AI infrastructure background. So we saw the nuclear. Matter of fact, let me update my notes. So we saw the main focus was AI infrastructure. And then AI infrastructure, we saw nuclear catalysts. We've seen utilities. And we saw the Oklo or the Meta deal with Oklo, and it was another company, but it didn't come up on the scans. I'm just gonna say Meta deal with Oklo. So yeah, that's gonna be the new note. AI infrastructure, nuclear catalyst, utilities, and Meta deal with Oklo. So that'll be something I can look back on. And this is in Thinkorswim as well. It's in the Think log. If you go to the tools, you go to Think log, and then you can get in here to put in your notes. So you can remember. And every week, like if we look back on my notes, the topics that I saw back here in November was gold, AI, and tokenization. Then we switched over to EV batteries. Then we switched over to the cannabis sector. Then we switched. We saw Hong Kong and China. We're talking about data centers. Then we saw EV vehicle mentions. Then we saw solar energy idea, space and military. And this was before Trump did the whole capture of the Venezuelan president, when we saw space and military start to come into play. And then military defense, and now we're on AI infrastructure, nuclear catalysts, utilities, and the Meta deal with Oklo. All right. All right, so APVO again having an idea of an uptrend. So came down to this low of 978. Draw this in. Really needs to start to flatten out because this is still a pretty steep downtrend. So I'll leave those up there for now. Had a high right here of 1050. All right, only up 8%. So at this point, I have not identified anything that I'm like, oh man, I'm gung ho to trade. the reason that I'm looking for things over 75% is the halt levels, or not 75%, 75 cents is the halt levels. When things close, or they close below 75 cents, the halt levels are super tight. It's not gonna get much movement at all. It can just halt and halt and halt and halt. And I don't want to get caught in there. So once it gets above 75 cents, it's a little bit easier. It'll have a little bit more trading time in between halts and all of that. And that's why I kind of cut it off at 75. So if we have a stock that's at, like, let's say 30 cents and it starts just ripping up, it's going to get halted all through the day because it hasn't broken that 75-cent ceiling. All right, OPAD. Yeah, I'm just not in love with any of this. This might be a third no trade day for me, to be honest. This might be it. All right. Well, that's one thing. Even with looking into like Ross Cameron's trading, the reason that he is so, like, when you look at his style of trading, he is so willing to cut losses. He don't care. He's like, look, he's sitting there with the mindset of, I have a machine gun, not a shotgun. You know what I mean? Like, he's not shooting a slug. He's shooting multiple rounds down the pipe. Now one of the things that I have been watching of his is his small cap, or not his small cap, his small account challenges, which is kind of what I'm doing, the one trade a day thing. And you know, one trade a day, it makes you more conscious of a little bit of why you're trading. And I would say that's one thing. Even him just getting up and trading in the morning, he does more research than most other people. Or not, he does more research, but he has the tools to give him quick research. He has a lot of paid services to give him that research. What you see me do is the free way to do it, right? You go to Yahoo Finance, you go check out, you know, FinViz, you go check out BAM SEC. That's the free way to do it. But he has paid services that kind of consolidate. Now, I was using Benzinga for 6 months last year. And it was $200 a month for Benzinga, right? And like, I'm like, it consolidated everything. Everything was super like smooth, and plus, the update time was per second. So with TOS, the update times is every 15 minutes. It'll update your scanner. But on Benzinga, every second, it was like real time updates to your scanner, real time updates to the news, and links to the news and all that stuff. So it was definitely a smooth thing. But for the money and for the time, I'm like, man, I got time. I can sit here and do a little free research, do a little reading, and not get scorched in the market, right? And so I'm like, you know, after 6 months of just using it and kind of seeing the features, I'm like, oh, man. And some of the things that I saw over there, I actually ended up creating some code in TOS for, as far as the fields of that they had, the relative volume and things like that. I created those in TOS so I can kind of have a similar calculation of what the relative volume is without, because it's not native to TOS, relative volume. You have to add a script to get that. But that's a plus side to this, is because I can code in this. I can use ThinkScript to create stuff. And I've created a lot of codes in ThinkScript. So yeah, got a little arsenal back there. But the thing is, I pretty much have narrowed down to what I need. Arval, the beta. And the beta, I made a code for it, but beta is in TOS anyway, and I mostly use the native beta anyway. The ATRs, that one I definitely need, because that's how I gauge my profit loss. So let's say if the ATR is 50 cents, and I want to capture 50% of the 50 cents. That's 25 cents. So that'll be my profit target if the catalyst is there and all of that, right? So I kind of use ATR to see hey, how much of this ATR do I want to capture? Let's say if the ATR is 12 cents. Well, that means I need to be looking to take a lot less because it's hard to get a full ATR. It is, unless you're trading something that's like $15, $16, $17, $20. It might actually move its full ATR. But the cheaper stuff, like these little penny stocks we trade, 10 cents, ATRs and stuff, you got to be willing to take, 3 cents. But you got to be willing to also size up for that 3 cents. So it's like higher risk. So you got to be ready to definitely cut out of there if you need to. But that's why I say if you're going to trade those cheaper ones, they got to have catalysts. They got to. There's no way I'm trading something without catalyst that's cheap because you're taking bigger risks. Let's say if I take 3,000 shares of and I usually trade above 75 cents. So 3,000 shares of like a 90-cent stock, and it drops on me because it didn't have catalyst, didn't have a reason to move upward. And now I'm sitting with these 3,000 shares hoping at some point in the day it goes up, and then something else pops up that's way better, and it just passes it right on up. I'm like, why didn't I just wait for catalysts? And I found myself there 152 million times seeing something with catalyst run past what I'm trying to trade. So that's kind of etched into my heart not to overlook catalysts. Through many bumps and bruises and twisted ankles. All right. But yeah, OPAD continues to trade a little bit higher. It's got 16 million. Over here on the none, it's leading the non-micros. Nothing else has even passed 10 million shares traded. OPAD's up 53%. And then we got LRHC up here at 55% with 38 million shares traded. So again, nothing over here has done. So these are the top two movers, LRAC in volume. That's people watching that TV channel. Lucy just got added. Lucy tore some people up the other day. It does not have any catalyst on today on Lucy, but it tore some pockets up earlier this week. And I did not trade. I just watched people. I just grabbed my popcorn, sat back, and watched people get torched on Lucy. Let me see. Let me read some of these chats here. So from AJ, BizPhone, he says, do you think it's possible to get TOS to increase the font of your account info? Yeah. Yeah. You can go to the settings on the chart that you're, if it's your main window, you can go to the settings of the chart and go to the gear icon, scroll down here to settings. I don't even know if y'all can see this. Let me see if y'all can see this part of my window. I might not be able to see this. I have the window. Let me create a window real quick to show you what I'm talking about. I don't think you're going to be able to see my, let me see. Okay, you can see that. Okay, so you go to style, you go to settings. You can go here, or you can go to the full settings for the full application settings here. And you can't see that. But in the settings, you go to look and feel. And on the font size and look and feel, you can set it. It has a couple options. It has small, medium, large, larger, very large, and extra large. And then you can also adjust the spacing, whether you want it tight, roomy, or normal. Let me see if I can change this window real quick. I might have to create a new scene on top of this one. Yeah, let me do that. Add a display capture. Make this. Which display is it? That one? Yep, that one. Okay, that one. Okay, so let me show you this. You should be seeing this now. Okay, so once you go into your settings up here, settings up there, you'll pull up this and you'll go over into general tab. and it'll have orders all the way down to look and feel. Go into look and feel, you can select your colors, and I just don't even understand how people have white as their background. I feel like it's going to blind you. But I have mine set to dark. The high contrast is going to make your greens greener, your reds redder. I have that turned off because, it's a little bit too much for me. I'm not that colorblind. Then font size, you have the small, medium, large, larger, there, and yeah, extra large, and so that's how you change it. And then the spacing, normal, tight, roomy, and yeah, that's it. All right, so let me put that down. How did I get that up here? I don't even know where that is. Where is that? Display. Okay, I see it. All right, I'm gonna mute that right there. All right, so we're back. So hopefully you saw that. And on the front side, you just go here to application settings, and then it'll take you there. Oh, you just want to change that top side thing. I'm not sure about just changing the top side. I guess what you could do is you can detach your account info as a detachment. You can detach this gadget and put it something. You can stretch it out somewhere else on another screen. I don't know if you have another screen, but you can stretch it out as a detached gadget here and have all of your whatever you want to see there. But I'm not sure if you can actually customize. Nope. I'm not sure. But what you could do on the screen that it's on, you can increase your resolution on that screen to make it bigger. And that will be outside of TOS. That will be with your actual they'll be they'll be, are you using Mac or Windows? I'm not sure, but you would actually increase the resolution and it will make it bigger on your actual on that actual screen. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, we do have the Discord. That's where we continue conversations during the day. We can do video calls and things like that in the meeting rooms and go over, different setups and things. APVO just continues to get drained out here. Getting drained, but it is starting to flatten out there. But yeah, about to get ready to jump off of here, get ready for this morning meeting. Like I said, I haven't really honed in on anything. The Friday that I saw UAVS come up with the military news, it was already at 100 million by this time. So if I'm gonna trade something super cheap, I want to make sure that everybody's there with me on the ride, so I can jump off safely with my parachute. And let them continue to ride. So I'm gonna take profit on the ebbs and flows. Buy the dips, sell the rips. Buy the dips, sell the rips. But yeah, we'll continue to look around. Maybe APVO becomes something. Maybe it doesn't. I'm not sure. It's just not competing really. But yeah, better jump on off. And as always, keep your head on the swivel. We will be back. And right now, where I'm sitting on the month, only two, or I guess four trades. Four trades on that Friday with UAVS. One trade on Tuesday, and then these past 2 days, no trades. So we're just looking for the catalyst to come back through. And if I have to wait today for next week, that's all good. I'd rather wait for a better chance on the start of next week because we got the jobs reports coming out and all of that stuff. And so to try to capitalize on this week and try to score some, and then we got 3 weeks left. It's a lot of time to work. That's a lot of time to work. So I'm going to put my emphasis on these 3 weeks if today doesn't do anything for me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And as always, see y'all in the next one. Peace.